Let's see. Are we live? Let me check. Mm, yeah, we should be live. We should be live. Let's do
Yeah,
a
we
little
should
bit
be
of
live.
my
We should be live. Let's do. Yeah,
a
we
little
should
bit
be
of
live.
my
We should be live. Let's
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
yeah, we hear
Actually,
you.
I'm on the live right now. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we hear
Actually,
you.
I'm on the live right now.
Yeah, so everyone is good to go. So go ahead. What's up, everyone? This is Ya Karaba here. We're gonna have Pharaoh host it. So go ahead, Pharaoh. Do your thing.
So let me go. Let me go get your link so I can
I'm
share
doing.
it with
I'm doing
people.
everything. Just you do your. Introduce everyone. I'm doing everything.
All right. Well, let me know when you're ready for me to kick it off, I guess.
You here?
Yeah, I'm here. So if you guys are ready,
Yeah, we're
Oh
ready.
yeah,
We are
uh,
already live. Go ahead, introduce us.
uh, hey everybody. Today is your 179th episode of Vitamin G. With me today, I have Jubei Sensei, Karaba, and Nappy Senshin. Let's kick it off by seeing hey Jubei, what you been playing?
Yo, been playing Pokemon, which runs like dog shit, to put it lightly. Oh God. Yeah, it's been Pokemon and Pentiment. I've been dabbling in Pentiment.
What's up with your audio, Juba? You
I what?
It sounds fine on my end.
yeah, same here.
Um,
Oh, oh,
a little bit
there
of
go the
Pentiment.
chipmunks. Yeah,
Yeah, he's DJing over there.
he over
So
there.
Nappy
It's a,
Senshi, what you been
Um,
up to?
Nothing much. How's it going, everyone? I am Nappy Senshi. I am the one ninja that was raised in the village here in the hood. I've been currently playing Spider-Man Miles Morales because it came out on PC, and I have been playing Warhammer Darktide, which actually
So
is great.
did you play did you play Miles Morales on PlayStation 5?
No.
All right. I was gonna ask
Uh,
if there were some stark differences
no, it's
that you
just
saw as far as fidelity and frame rate.
For me, because I have a 2070 Super, so they added ray tracing onto Spider-Man, and I do know that my PC can run it better than the PlayStation 5's, but yeah, honestly, the game runs super smooth. The only thing that sucks about the game is it's short. It's really hard to ask for $50 for that game. I actually paid $30 for it,
Yeah,
but yeah,
I know a lot of people got upset when we said it, but like I said, I mean that game was essentially,
it is an
a
add-on.
DLC. Yeah, it's just not. It wasn't enough turnaround time to make a full game out of that. I mean,
Yeah,
realistically, because when Spider Man came out in what? When did Spider Man come out?
Jesus,
It didn't
like
come out in 2018. It didn't come out the same year as God of War, did it?
not sure. I think it was like 2018, 2019. But
2 years later, you got Miles Morales.
yeah, but only reason why I got the game early is because I kind of just want to play the game, and also I can't wait for the modded community just to go ham on Miles Morales. I'm just hoping for that local two-player co-op. That would be so much fun. On.
Make sure you go to his channel and check that out. And
Yep.
last but not least, we have Sony's favorite son, Omar. What have you been up to? On one.
hello?
Hello.
Okay. Sorry,
Well,
sorry, I was
me
having
myself.
technical difficulty for some
Oh, it's all
reason.
good. It's all good.
My mic was sounding like I was screaming, but in a very bad way. I remember you saying it, Nappy. I just heard it myself, and holy shit, that was rough. Yeah, as for me,
Yeah.
I beat God of War, and yeah, it's an amazing game, but it have some issues.
War's the greatest game ever. Oh, we get
Mm,
some lag on the.
it
So again,
on my end, it was lag free, bug free. I had one glitch, but that's about it. Storytelling, great story. I would still give it to uh, Forbidden West when it comes to story. Voice acting, Chris Judge nailed it with this one, and all the characters nailed it. Humor, this one had it, absolutely funny, and yeah, most
I don't think I want my Gods of War to be funny, but you know, so that each their own.
God of War, it
Yeah.
have
So
funny moment, it have sad moment, it have explanation moment, it just have everything, and
yeah, man.
the funny part fits God of War because who Kratos is. That's why. But other than that, yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. And if you're on the fence, get it. Especially if you love 2018, then this is not a story. This is just how it was with Forbidden West. It's better than Zero Dawn in every single aspect. So I cannot recommend it enough. And yeah, right now doing some clean work. I wanna get the platinum. So I need to beat the hardest boss in the game, which is it's an optional boss fight, and boy oh boy, it's rough, 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 rough. But that's about it.
Okay. Um, Man, well, me myself, my son's been on Thanksgiving break, and he's decided to stay home as opposed to hanging out at his grandma's house. So we got some gaming in today. We played Plants versus Zombies. So no, Plants versus Zombies. Um, Little EA game. That was kind of cool. I've been playing Signalis. Um, I'm like an hour into that, and that's about it recently. On my latest stream, I finally got my setup right. I started playing off my TV instead of off my monitor. I can't play off the capture card. Just like the the frame rate just kind of messes with my eyes. And I had my first stream where I went undefeated, went 8-0 on stream, which was because it was just so much better playing off my TV. Um, Other than that, that's pretty much all I've been up to. So let's go ahead and dive into these topics. Um, it looks like we have one more person going, so I'm gonna start off with one of the lesser topics. So let's go ahead and talk about this Sonic co-creator getting arrested. It seems like he was arrested for insider trading. Do you want to dive into that a little bit more, Omar, just to kind of give them
Mm. Sure, I'm just gonna read
synopsis?
from what's its name, the article itself, because real talk, I have absolutely no idea what that means.
Oh, do you want me to help you with that?
Yeah, feel free to do so, because real talk, when it comes to this one, I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
I just thought you were talking about it a little bit earlier, so I figured you had a little bit more.
I
But I can read off the article. That's not a problem. All right, so I got the article right here. Sonic the Hedgehog co-creator reportedly arrested for insider trading. Sonic the Hedgehog co-creator Yuji Naka has been arrested for suspected insider trading for an investment made while working at Square Enix. As reported by IGN Japan, Naka was arrested by the Special Investigation Department of the Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office alongside two other former Square Enix employees. he allegedly bought 10,000 shares in developer aiming at a value of around 20,000, ahead of it announcing Dragon Quest Tactic mobile game in partnership with Square Enix. The other employees arrested, Taisuke Sasaki and Fumaki Suzuki, allegedly purchased a combined total of 162,000 shares at a value of around $337,250. Sasaki is also alleged to have informed Naki and Suzuki about the potential rise in value. Insider trade. Oh, sorry, I was messed up. Insider trading is the buying and selling of stocks with confidential or non-public information, usually with the intention to make money, and is illegal in Japan. The trio therefore reportedly suspected of investing in aiming before the Dragon Quest game was announced, expecting the collaboration with Square Enix to drive up the value of the company. It's currently unclear if Naka or the other employees have sold their shares. Naka is arguably most known for co-creating Sonic the Hedgehog and leading Sega's Sonic team, but was also lead programmer on other games including Nights into Dreams, Phantasy Star Online, and more. He eventually joined Square Enix but left in June 2021, not long after release of his latest game, Balan Wonderland.
That game by itself was a crime.
Well, he committed a real crime with insider trading, so I guess you'll get the justice system to get him.
I guess two for the price of one. I guess.
Yeah.
Me and Jubei, we played the demo for Badland, and it's bad. It's bad. Right, Jubei?
Oh.
Yeah, it's trash. I don't even.
All right, so gentlemen, so diving into this insider trading topic.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it not allowed in the USA?
No, it's not. So,
it is illegal
in any first world country. Yeah, it's not allowed in any first world country that
Martha
Stewart
went to fucking jail for some shit like this. Like, you gotta understand, especially in America, like anything that deals with money is going to be severely punished if you're stealing from the government.
I mean, it literally happens every day.
Trading, stealing from the government. It does. It's just you getting caught.
Yeah. So, I guess Omar, what are your thoughts on this?
It's very interesting. Oh, 1 second, Ali. Echo on whose end? Apparently there's an echo. For everyone except me. Everyone try to lower your own. Oh, give me a second. Maybe I can fix it because I'm hosting. Say something one by one. Jubei, say 1, 2, 3.
Mic check 1, 2.
Nappy. Pharaoh. Are we clear, Ali, right now? Or do you still hear echo? Yeah. Oh, okay, cause I made you guys quiet thinking maybe that would solve everything, but it didn't solve everything, so I'm gonna put you back up, right up, and you guys need to, I don't know, let's see, okay, try again, mic check.
1, 2.
Nappy?
Yep, 1, 2.
And Pharaoh? Are you here, Pharaoh?
Yeah, can you hear him?
No, I can't hear him.
Right. Oh, they're saying good.
Okay, now we're good? Oh,
Yeah.
Nappy has echo. Nappy have echo.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting because we're
It's probably just his setting.
my
He's in
setting.
control of everything.
Then I
Yeah,
don't know what.
you're control of our, you're in control of how they receive our sound.
Pharaoh had echo, but not terrible. Okay, yeah, I can't do anything about that then. Just bear with us. It is weird. This is not our normal setting. We apologize, but we got a show to finish. Otherwise, we're gonna be here the entire time. Cause I have no idea how to fix this. That's why. Okay, okay, it's cool. If it's not distracting, let's continue. Talking about the whole situation. One, I hope justice is served. I hope the person gets prosecuted, and I also hope that he goes to prison for that. Cause stealing is absolutely not okay. And because he is such a big wig, you gotta know he's gonna be able to afford the biggest lawyer, the best lawyers and all that jazz. However, with Japan being such a strict country, I can absolutely see them trying to make an example out of him and give him the full load of punishment. Which, if that's the case, we might actually see him kiss his career goodbye. How you
Being
fumbled the bag
technically,
so hard.
technically it's a white collar crime. Like nobody's really
Oh,
negatively impacted
yeah,
by
but this is
it. It's
the
just like,
Japan we're talking about. They take crime very
no,
seriously.
I'm saying, no, he's gonna be punished. But I'm just saying, all you do is
Punished,
make a little money, or
punished
you
as
try to make a little money.
punished as in jail time. Mm,
I think
What so?
pay a fine. He's gonna have to pay a fine most likely.
You don't need a jail time for this.
Technically,
In the U.S. It'll be up to you guys. But like I said, in the U.S., they get it. It's going to come down to how much was done, but you're going to be punished. It's not going to be like
Like yeah, it's like typically you don't do anything more than like 18 months in jail and pay a little fine.
Interesting. Then I'm curious. I'm pretty sure he is fired by Sega and Square Enix, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah. So then I think he can kiss his career goodbye then.
Now we're a forgiving society. Somebody will hire him in the gaming community again. He'll be good.
I mean, all he needs to do is to make a new Sonic, and who knows, people gonna go back to loving him. But that's about it. I'm actually surprised that they caught him, cause most of the time this stuff happen all the time. Like that's why I found it. I had no idea about this, cause like for example, go to the WWE. What's his name? Mr. McMahon have shares in his own company, and he basically owns it, and he owns trades in it and stuff like that, and he does trade sharing. So I thought maybe it was normal, but yeah, no. According to you guys, it's a crime, and I'm happy that he got caught.
Vince McMahon committed more than just that, bro.
Oh yeah, we already know. We already know. Yeah, that's literally a Pandora box.
Throughout the company.
He was sleeping with that.
Yeah. So what you got for us on this topic there, Jube?
Oh, thank you. Oh, one last thing I will add then. It's his first crime he committed was creating Battleland Wonderland, cause that shit was terrible.
That was your opening statement on this.
Yeah.
That was bad. And yeah, it's my opening statement and my closing statement again. That shit, it was terrible, and I cannot imagine that this game got through the testing period and they upgraded it to go. That's about it.
What you got for us on this topic, Nappy?
So in the U.S., I'm not gonna lie, like it doesn't surprise me that there's inside trading going on in Square Enix, and that he was investing in Square Enix, knowing that this game's about to release and about to make a quick buck. As far as his punishment, yeah, I do think he's gonna get punished. I don't know how severe Japan's gonna be with his punishment, because I see in the U.S. like sometimes like people will have to pay like a giant fine, and then even though if they go in prisons, they sometimes get these like luxury ass prisons, which is basically like a paid stay home vacation for them. So
That's the white collar crime. They ain't hurt nobody.
yeah,
They might as well live a little bit.
it's not really,
It's a victimless crime, except for the government. The government is the only victim. They don't like being the only victim.
The government's not a victim. They get paid in taxes. They're not a victim.
I mean, I'll just say in the United States government, the last time we had something like that was actually somebody that works in the government that possibly could have been inside trading, thanks to U.S. is about to get some couple of chip manufacturing factories, and someone in the government's family decided to buy some shares before that announcement was made, and they made quite a bit of money off of it.
Yeah, make me some money, man. It's hard enough to make money out here.
Yeah. Especially if you're tied to the government, but yeah.
Hey, if you got some insider trading secrets you want to share with Pharaoh, I will gladly purchase that stock after getting that information.
Okay. Not with me. So yeah, but I think it'll be fine. I think it kind of sucks. I think honestly, Japan may be strict on him, but he'll be fine. You just pay the money back, serve a little bit of time, get back out there, and hopefully make a good Sonic game or something. I don't know.
VGP didn't take out a PPP loan. Jubei, what are your thoughts?
Bruh, you know them PPP loans is coming down, B. They out here prosecuting. It's like, hey, remember that thing they did? They coming down.
They forgave them all.
They did not forgive them all. If you weren't a legitimate business of some kind, they forgave you if you were like a business doing it. But if you were like an individual that had like a fake LLC and all that,
VGP LLC, baby, what you talking about? He's legit.
They out here like they go into your grandma's house to get you, bro.
VGP LLC, what you talking about? That's light work.
Nappy, can you turn off your mic and then back on? Because apparently you have a crazy echo.
Yeah, just turned mine off back on. I'm about to leave out and jump back in real quick.
So, yeah, Jubei, what are your thoughts on this whole insider trading?
I think it's dumb. I mean, like could have had your cousin Ray Ray do this. Like somebody like totally unaffiliated with the companies. Like, there's ways to get away with this shit, but like it's just stupid. Like, why would you try to play the game or like play the stock market like that, knowing that you're gonna get found out 9 times out of 10 because all that shit has a fucking paper trail, bro.
It does. It's just a matter of if you're smart enough to get by or not. Because we know it happens every day.
Yeah,
it does happen every day.
It happens every single day. It's just
that's why all people hang out on Wall Street. So they can insider trade together.
Yeah.
That's lit. But now, like I said, I hope. Hopefully, I mean, I hate seeing people. You know, it sucks. He's throwing away like his career and all this other shit for this because Japan don't play. Like, if they can end you for drugs, bruh, you out here stealing from the government.
Potentially ending his career. I think we as a society are very forgiving, and I could see, a situation where once this blows by, he can get hired by somebody like, Microsoft to go work on.
Will it blow by though?
It'll blow by. It'll blow
by. Stuff like that will haunt him.
Nah, it won't. Like, think about all the people who've been caught insider trading. They're all prospering years afterwards. Martha Stewart ain't missed a beat.
Like, Martha Stewart is different from a game developer that literally created Sonic. I don't
Yeah, but
see
I mean,
this.
like, but there's still a place for him in the industry. Like I said, he could very easily go work somewhere. Like I said, Microsoft, who wants to rebuild their kids' games, and be like, hey, you want to work on Spyro the Dragon? You want to work on Crash Bandicoot? I mean, there's still a place for his creativity in the industry. Just because he did a little insider trading, don't mean he can't still make a good game here and there.
We will see.
Um, yeah, so I'm trying. Is Zero coming today, or is he gonna
Yes,
be out?
I'm communicating with him. He is listening to the show. He is on his way.
Okay, so we're gonna save that Pokemon subject
Yeah,
for last because he is gonna pay for the crimes of Nintendo Game Freak. So we're gonna dive into this subject of the death of Cloud. Is this is what we're slowly beginning to see? Um, Amazon has started laying off the cloud jobs for cloud gaming. Amazon Luna. I have the article here, and we will dive into it. It starts off Amazon starts cutting jobs with layoffs hitting the Alexa unit and the cloud gaming division. Amazon on Tuesday began laying off employees in its corporate tech workforce as CEO Andy Jassy steps up efforts to rein in cost. The company notified workers in several divisions, including Alexa and Luna Cloud Gaming Unit, that they were being let go. According to LinkedIn posts from Amazon employees who said they had been impacted, Amazon is aiming to eliminate about 10,000 jobs, mostly in retail, devices, and human resources. The New York Times reported Monday the number remains fluid because the cuts are being implemented by individual teams or at times. By midday Tuesday, Amazon had not sent out any company-wide communication about planned layoffs, which sparked frustration among employees, according to a person familiar with the matter who asked not to be named because of confidentiality. Representatives from Amazon declined to comment. In recent weeks, Amazon also began laying off some contracted employees who worked in recruiting roles for its advertising, internal operations, and Fire TV divisions, according to people with knowledge of the cuts. One employee, who asked to remain anonymous, said Amazon informed her earlier this month that it wouldn't be renewing her contract. Last month, she was in talks to pursue a full-time role in Amazon's consumer division, but her interview was abruptly canceled. I'm gonna try to skip and see if I can get like any more as it pertains to gaming.
it's glorious.
So yeah, there doesn't seem to be much as it relates to gaming other than
What
what I've read.
I am
So
watching. Yeah, go ahead.
do you guys believe that we are seeing the death of gaming? Looks like Omar has something to say
No,
about
I
this, so I'll let
said
him take it over.
death of cloud gaming, not gaming
Yeah,
itself.
so do you think we're seeing the
No,
death of cloud
Yeah, yeah,
gaming?
yeah, yeah. I
no.
with when you look at
Who
what
let you get your turn, G-Man?
Yep.
Go ahead, get your bars off, Omar.
who you wanna go? Jube, go ahead, go.
Nah, you good. I'll go after you. I got my rebuttal. Just go ahead.
Okay, when you look at Microsoft saying what they said that cloud is not ready, and they could be saying it just to get that deal approval whatsoever. When we look at Stadia dying, when we look now at Luna not being able to even stand on feet and not even launch yet, um, I don't see when we have now seen this is not just cloud gaming. I'm talking about look the trend. For example, crypto. Uh, just in, crypto lender Genesis warns of bankruptcy without new funding. That's crypto. You have the NFT. NFT ape was sold for 1 million or something like that. Now
That's more
it's
financial industry. That doesn't really
but
I was
that's what
pertain
about,
I'm
to
trying
yeah, I
to
was
cloud
about to
say.
ask
gaming.
about that.
A lot of things that are quote unquote new they're gonna flop very fast if you don't have the infrastructure for it. Like cloud gaming is not ready. People are not ready for cloud gaming. Internet falls all out all the time. There are literally countries without good internet connection. Unless you have a very stable internet connection speed that doesn't fall off, that is reliable, you're not gonna be able to enjoy gaming on the cloud unless you live in what we call it, in a rich country. I'm gonna say it like that. This is why I don't believe cloud gaming is the future. And I'm curious what you have to say about that. Go ahead, Jube.
So it's not the
Basically, you
cloud
had a
gaming.
rebuttal?
Yeah, it's not the cloud gaming isn't the future. It's like you actually kind of mentioned it yourself. It's infrastructure. So what first
Yeah,
party studios did Google have?
Zero.
None. Exactly. And that matters. What I mean, and what fucking Amazon has like what one, whatever one is making that damn MMO that they have. That's
New
it.
World, which is extremely successful
Yeah.
last I checked.
Wait, it is?
And it's
Yeah.
called New World?
No, I was
Yeah,
saying New Worlds
New
is
World.
successful right now?
It is. New
you
World's
can
doing
have the
well.
content but not the infrastructure, and you would still not be able to produce.
This is not about content. This is
It's a mix
about
of both.
having first party is about infrastructure. What the fuck do you mean? Like you can't make games if you don't have people to make fucking games. Like there's zero point in you having a cloud service if you're just going to license and third party out that shit. You're not cutting costs. You're not saving. You're losing money doing that because you're not making it in house and you don't have any control over that. Their main, I mean, and Amazon is bigger cloud than fucking Microsoft is in the cloud market. Let's be real, they are. AWS is bigger than Azure. It is.
And yep, it is. The government's picking up
Yeah,
AWS.
they're like almost twice the
Exactly.
size of Azure. Yeah.
Exactly. So why are they folding? Like I said, it's deeper than just like cloud ain't it. Like we understand cloud ain't it. Nobody has said, "Hey, cloud is going to replace gaming." It's a supplement, but you still need some other stuff there because you know it's a supplement. Like you already know you're not really gonna do much in this space just because tech's not really there. Like yeah, Luna's cool and like the browser and stuff, but like shit like being on like TVs and stuff, like that's the shit that matters. Like little shit like that is how you get your inroads and start just getting adoption and getting people to buy into it. But you also have to give them shit to play. Like if all you got is Destiny 2 and I can play Destiny 2 at better graphical settings and like with no lag on my console, why the fuck would I play it on the cloud? Like you gotta give us a reason. You know what I mean? Like and that's what these companies lack. They don't have that fucking reason. It's just not there. Um I don't think that cloud is like doomed or anything like that. It's just we're looking at it with the wrong lens. You feel me? Like we're just not looking at it right. Like I think cloud is a good supplement to gaming because like internet speeds around the world are just trash in a lot of areas. Like it's just not feasible to be like, yeah, this is the only way to consume games. Like it just doesn't work that way. Um it's more of an add-on bonus and people need to look at it like that, and I think Amazon and Google are seeing it that way. And it's also not to say that they're cutting all their jobs from their cloud. They're just downsizing because they're like it's Alexa. Like who like at this point who else needs to be really working on Alexa besides a couple of engineers to like push out updates and shit? Like you don't need a big ass team for that.
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
more
as
interested to see
more
what
as
is.
I would disagree, as more smart devices come out, then you're going to need people to kind of create the commands and stuff like that. They have to be doing a lot of R&D with new devices that are coming out every day to make them compatible with Alexa.
And I get
So
that, but it's like again, how big of a team do you need to do that?
I think you need a pretty big team. There's a lot of products coming out. You got to be aware of all of them.
10K though? 10K? You need 10K people to do that right there? I don't know. I don't buy that.
I mean, they could
I
have
don't
just
know
been
about that.
contractors. I mean, because sometimes we don't know. Like, they could be like temp contractors, and they just like, oh, these were
Yeah,
people tempers to begin with.
you probably
Yeah,
need
yeah.
about
Like I said, we gotta.
10,000. You probably need about 7 to 10,000 employees, and then the rest are probably contractors, depending on like the product release cycle and what's coming out.
Right, right. I got you.
Yep.
'Cause you got to think about different languages and
Yeah.
all that
No,
type of
no.
stuff.
Like I said, you have a point, but it's just like just to say that this is a. I think people are just jumping the gun, saying like, "Yeah, oh yeah, cloud's done." Like, you understand why Google's out of the cloud? 'Cause Google can't finish shit. They
Yes,
outside of Google fucking search and some of their cloud services, like they start a project, that shit dies because that's how Google operates. They kill
you
their
know
own
what?
fucking project real fucking quick.
Google is a company that they got so successful off of one thing that they just kind of look for that next home run. They're always looking for the next home run. They're not really willing to build
And if
something and
it's
make
and
it
if it's
great.
not and if it's not a home run, they ditch it like immediately
Yeah,
and move on to
they're
something
known to
else. That's just
abandon.
how they function.
Yeah.
Just how they function. Literally, just how they function as an entity, as a company. Like it's just not great.
Um, okay. Nappy, what are your thoughts? Is the decline of Luna a signal that cloud gaming is reaching its near death?
It's going to be kind of similar to Jubilee, but no, I don't think cloud gaming is dying. Because I kind of like look at like from Microsoft approach, and Microsoft has always used cloud gaming as more so an accessory to gaming altogether, rather than just the main way of gaming. I mean, yeah, not everyone has like these 5G towers and gigabyte speed internets or 5 gigabyte speed internets, but it's like I'm not going to pretend like cloud gaming is really bad, especially for like small like indie title games or something. It's really great, and it kind of sucks too because Amazon Luna and Google Stadia, they don't have any first party titles, and it's
Yes.
it's like when you play a competitive FPS game, it's better to play it on like your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One rather than play it on Google Stadia because of lag input. And even if the infrastructure is there, it's just like for some of these like graphically intense games, like you would really need a really strong infrastructure to stream those games with very little to no latency. So I never really seen I never for like Google who tried to make it like Google Stadia is like the future of gaming. One day it will be, maybe in 2,000 years. But honestly,
Years.
like yeah, but like honestly, because we gotta get the rest of the world caught up. And right now we're all fighting each other, so but as of right now, like I think streaming is a good thing. Honestly, the more gamers the better. And this will kind of give us a reason to make our infrastructure better so that way we can inch closer to this futuristic. I can just get on my phone, put like a VR set, and dive into like Sword Art Online or dot hack type gaming, or maybe what Mark Zuckerberg is trying to push so badly, the metaverse, which is so far
Verse.
from ready. But
Have
just
you
Yeah.
seen the metaverse that Facebook is doing?
uh,
That
the uh, the business thing with Microsoft Teams, Meta's been doing a lot of great stuff, and that's like a whole separate topic because it goes well beyond gaming. And
Yeah, I
I
mean,
see what Meta was trying to do, but yeah, right as of
the
right
issue
now,
with the metaverse is that they're not necessarily building it. They're expecting everyone else to come and build it with them.
yeah, but they are, but yeah, that's like I said, that's a whole different topic because
Yeah.
Meta is working with Microsoft and stuff with like all this other stuff. So there's already been like cloud thing, like everyone's trying to make their own like cloud world. Like you got Nvidia in the process of rendering Earth. Google basically is close to rendering Earth because thanks to Google Maps. And now Meta is trying to jump on that train. They try to start off with video games, but they forgot that no one's going to go to that because we got VR chat for free and it's just so much better.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Uh,
but as far as I'm saying, yeah, cloud gaming, it's not dead. It's just it's not going to be the main way of gaming. It's just an accessory to gaming.
so uh, we have the Great Zero who has somehow made it out of the Shadow Realm and into the Vitamin G podcast. What are
he
your
was
thoughts
avoiding
on?
us. Pokemon Talk.
On
He's not ready.
I will never run
oh
away from
it,
discussing the capturing of pocket monsters and such.
How are you, Zero?
I am well, guys. Sorry I'm late. Long day. Trying to get things wrapped up before, holiday season and such. But good, good. Working through God of War. I should have that done by
How far
this
are you?
week. My non-spoiler saying is, I got the thing.
Oh,
just give him some amount,
oh,
give
so
us a certain amount of
basically,
hours.
Uh,
no. All you need to say is the lady, right?
yes.
I understand. See, it's very simple with
Yeah.
non-spoiler stuff. Just say the
My
lady and you're golden.
my hours are always kind of bad, Vero, because occasionally, like, I'll be playing the game and then I'll walk away and leave it on. So I've got
Yeah,
no real sense of, like, on my clock it says about, I think, like 25, maybe 25.
yeah. So all you need to say is the lady or
No, that's it.
Alfheim or
That's it.
whatsoever, and
Yeah,
people know
just
where
leave
you're
it at
at. Yeah.
that. So yeah, like I said, I should be done by this
Which
week, and then I
difficulty
can
are you?
second the hardest, whatever that one is.
Okay, so you're with me, and are you planning on doing everything?
It depends on specifically how many ravens I have to get.
You need to get 48, I think.
Is there more than 48 in the game?
Not so far I know. It's 48 is the total.
It also might depend on what exactly those ravens give me.
Oh,
All
so
right,
they give you,
so
so they give you one of
we're
the
gonna
best.
get back on. We gotta get back on topic. We gotta get back on topic before we
Oh
get
yeah,
to midnight.
I'll
All
talk to
right.
you off air about that.
Mm.
So, yeah, Zero, what are your thoughts on the death of cloud gaming due to Luna's laying off of employees?
I don't think it's dead so much as just they clearly everybody still wants a piece of this very large video game pie, and so a lot of people are trying to create this sort of initial gold rush to get in there first, like Amazon with cloud gaming, Microsoft, and sort of whatever their plans are for the future with how gaming and streaming is going to go along. So, like, because it's really hard to get in through the traditional doorway, as we've seen with a variety of companies who have tried and failed to sort of get in there by let's make a console, or let's be a publisher, or let's just make a couple of games and see how it goes. So they want to do their own thing. I don't know if now's the right time for it. Unfortunately, still a lot of people don't fundamentally understand the cloud, even on a general basis. Like, office buildings across the globe, you've got folks who like say, "Oh, I sent it in the cloud," but have no sense of what that means or what it does.
Goes back
Um,
to some random building and a random server rack.
yeah, and they're just like, so the cloud. So now it's like, when anything go, I deal with this a lot at my job. When anything goes wrong, it's like, oh, it's probably because it's in the cloud and it's messed up. Like, it's not. That's not what it is. Yes, perhaps Windows 95 ran better, but like that was a long time ago. Whatever. So yeah, people don't really get that. So from a gaming perspective, and gamers are not exactly open to the most newest of things. Um, there wasn't really a lot of room for it there for us, like for any of us for the most part. Not casual folks, not like sort of midway people, and not hardcore people like ourselves. Like, there's just not room for us to care about cloud gaming. We could some of us live in areas where like cloud gaming is not an issue, right? I don't have to worry about the cloud here where I'm at, but I don't think about it. The only time I think about the cloud is cloud saves, and so that's perfectly fine. But otherwise, I'm not at all interested. I don't care. There's no real value proposition for me. So I don't necessarily think it's dead. I think it's going to be on hold until someone figures out how to utilize it effectively. And so we'll still see cloud in gaming, i.e., with saves and transfers and things like that. But I don't think there's a strong value proposition just yet for for cloud gaming to strictly be a thing that someone just wants to engage in.
So how long do you give it? Another 5, 10 years before it starts to become something?
It's hard to
It
say. I
already
don't
is
remember.
something.
Yeah.
It already is something.
I mean,
At-
like what tech evolves.
The rule is every 4 years there's like a big upgrade with tech usually.
Yeah. So it was, what?
Well,
Yeah, because I guess if you think about it, like if we track it by the life cycles of systems, and we're a little middle way there, but like I would say, for a gaming perspective, cloud really came into its own in around the PS4 era, and it's doing all right. Like everybody talks about their cloud saves, so probably within the PS6, maybe 7, we will see sort of a reintroduction of what they've been trying to do, and that all depends on where any of this tech goes. Like perhaps something new comes out that changes the game in a fundamental way that doesn't really need cloud, but who knows? I don't really think in this generation of gaming it's going to be a major factor.
there's going to be something new that's coming back though. That companies are chasing after right now.
I'm gonna guess 3D glasses.
So, no,
Nah,
that
that's
failed.
already gone.
No,
Like
it's,
3D.
No, hear me
Remember?
out. Not
Remember?
the old classic red and blue 3D glasses. They
Oh,
haven't brought that. They didn't
Like
try that yet.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Like 3D is dead, right?
they tried that. They tried to do that. That did not. That's dead. But
Yeah. What are the stuff that died? A lot of stuff that they tried is dead. So
there's one thing that everyone's chasing now that we got better chips, and it's slowly been reviving and giving Nintendo a little bit of a pain in the ass. It seems like everyone's chasing after that portable gaming again.
Oh, true. Yeah, portable gaming is big.
It's coming back. Companies are like, "What? We got better equipment. You want to play AAA games on the go? What? Screw this cloud shit. Just play with our hardware."
we have
that's
Viper.
an alternative.
Everyone say rest in peace. Viper was a victim of 3D gaming. He believed in it.
So for my 2 cents on this death of cloud gaming topic, I really don't think it's the death of cloud gaming. I think what we've seen over the past couple of years is we've seen Amazon and Google attempt to take shortcuts in their entry into the gaming industry. And as a result of taking those shortcuts, they took massive losses, and they've decided that it's no longer worthwhile for them to be as heavily invested as they initially were. Google hasn't necessarily given up on cloud gaming. They're still willing to sell the technology and be a part in that sphere. Let's see what happens with Luna over time. I think as far as where we're seeing cloud gaming go at the moment, the only company that seems to be doing it right is Xbox. Sony is slowly getting it together, but I see a lot of promise in it. I do cloud gaming here and there, especially for smaller titles when I don't want to download a game, and it does work very well. So I definitely don't see this as the death of it. I think we just are seeing what happens when a company like Google and Amazon attempt to take shortcuts. I think Meta's doing some really good things. I'm not. I don't have a Meta headset or anything like that, so I don't know how much of their gameplay is native or how much of it is cloud based. But as far as their approach to entering into the gaming market, I feel like they have taken the proper approach as far as breaking into the industry.
That Resident Evil 4 exclusive.
Yeah, so I think we're seeing some of the VR companies take the proper approach as far as coming into gaming industry as opposed to what we've seen Google and Amazon do. I think they try to take a shortcut and lean on their name instead of actually giving customers a quality product. So I think that's what we saw. I don't really think we're seeing the depth of gaming. Um, but all right. So what is wrong with Pokemon? The two latest Pokemon installments have come out, and apparently both games suck.
Yeah.
Jude, you were talking about it earlier. Do you want to kind of expound on some of the issues you may have been experiencing?
Jubei, do you
Oh,
know how I
word.
can share? Do you know how I can share the screen for what I'm about to show you? Because people need to see it on on video, so they can see just how bad it is. So how can I do that? Oh yeah,
I don't know.
I think
Should
just
be a share screen button.
uh, from Discord, right?
Yeah.
Give me a second where it is, because I'm new to this. Share your screen, there it is. So this is application, live stream, I think general, because that's where we're gonna go be. So you guys can see this?
It's a little bit of a delay. But,
Okay. But still, there is visual. So we go to this one. Can you guys still see?
yeah, I can see your stream.
Okay. Because again, this is new for me. Like, what you guys about to see is that literally Cyberpunk 77 bad.
I mean,
I don't think
it's
it's showing for the people on the show on.
it's not, probably not. But my thing is, I mean, I'm gonna talk about it. So what this tells me is Game Freak is just lazy as fuck. Like, I don't know how they dropped this unoptimized turd on our doorstep. There's a lot of things to like. There's a lot of like changes that were for the better that are good for Pokemon, but the
Yes.
performance issues
So
are just really bad. Like, so there's a classroom scene, right? Like, it's a cutscene. You like it, and it's like one of those where you have to press through like the conversation. And if you look around the room, you see like everybody's like kicking their feet under their desk, and that shit is like 10 frames a second. Like, it is jarring. You can see it. It's noticeable. But then as soon as the cutscene's over and like we're actually in real time, like it's not there. Like, it is so weird. Like, when the shit that's wrong actually pops up, it is so strange.
who did
And
think
I don't have words for it.
who did think that who did think that it was a good idea to have a Pokemon battle and allow pedestrian to be on the road with it? Like, that's so stupid. And these are some of the
It's not
glitches.
stupid. It's an evolution of the game.
Evolution that it's gonna break the game for most people when it comes to like a Pokemon battle should be 1v1 or a team, but no one should be able to be in it. Having other pedestrian in it just takes you one out of the immersion. Like, I have never correct me if I'm wrong, I have played shit ton of JRPGs. I have yet to see a JRPG where it actually does that.
It all depends on where your perspective is on immersion, I would say.
Yep.
One criticism that most people always levy at Pokemon is that like it doesn't feel like a real lived-in world. Theoretically, you can make the argument for a lot of JRPGs, take Final Fantasy VII for one. Like, when you're out in the open world, it's just a flat landscape. There doesn't seem to be anybody else out there but you and the monsters. Most Pokemon places are like there's somebody around at any general moment. Theoretically, if I'm having a Pokemon battle with somebody, another person could just walk up and watch this. They could participate, they could do whatever, but that that your mileage may vary on what you feel is immersive, and all of that. So that it's a point, but I think it might be a bit of a 50-50 on what side you fall on.
By the way, not to cut you off, but this is the screen that I'm now sharing. Basically, if you connect two controllers and you both run at the same time, you can go double the speed. Like, this game was not tested whatsoever.
Well, I think what you're kind of seeing is more of an optimization issue, as opposed to that they shouldn't have developed the game in that fashion. I think once the game is optimized, I think that's what we're kind of seeing. We're seeing an optimized game.
Yep.
But yeah, what are your thoughts, Zero? Since you're the resident Nintendo guy.
I think that if I can jump back to Jubei, it is, and granted, still early in the game. I won't be getting it until later this week. But even with Jubei's complaints, and they were very real, and you will find this across the board for most of the reviews of this game, most people are very specifically targeting the performance issues, not the game itself.
Like the gameplay and the game are fine. Like, so I used to spend hours, literally hours, restarting my game trying to get starters with the right natures I want.
Right.
Natures are a pill now, so I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can move on with my life instead of sitting here crunching numbers trying to figure out what's best when I can just, it doesn't matter. I can just replace the nature when I get the pill for it later in the game. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm not like stressing over that. Like, there's ample and great changes. Even the whole thing with like there's like 3 different, I guess, world routes you could be taking at any one time. Like, there's a lot of positives. It's just literally the performance issues. Just it just kind of takes you out of it, and you're just like you're worried about that instead of playing the damn game, which sucks.
And which is very real, because it means nothing to have a good game that you can't play. It's just an idea, and so I think that's where I sort of fall on this. It is massively disappointing, not totally surprising, but massively disappointing that it was this bad. At worst, I would have expected it to be just like Arceus, which had some pretty serious performance issues, but it still ran mostly okay for the most part. From everything I've seen, is absolute nonsense. Like, I've seen the school scene that Jubei's talking about, where like the feet just are moving at 10 frames per second, and it looks very off-putting and weird. And I'm like, what is going on? This isn't including any of the other glitches that pop out. Some may be fun, some less so. So it's a. I hope that it is a strong wake-up call for Game Freak / the Pokemon Company, because at this point, I don't really know who to blame but them. Like, they're responsible for this. Pokemon is a billion-dollar franchise.
Do you blame Game Freak or Nintendo or both?
All of the above, because Game Freak, Nintendo, and the Pokemon Company are all sort of linked in ways. So, like, to separate them, sure, but as far as I'm concerned, they're all basically Nintendo, because Game Freak and the Pokemon Company haven't really made anything for anybody else. Like, Pokemon is associated with Nintendo. It is a Nintendo brand that really got too big for its own self, and exists as its own separate thing. But like, at Nintendo World, Pokemon would be there, and vice versa. If there were Pokemon World, Nintendo would be there. So separating them, to me, is a moot point. It's just splitting hairs, because everyone at those companies are involved with Pokemon in some form or fashion, and they really should have done a better job in actually making this the game it should have been, because it is the first mainline game that is supposed to be for the Switch. Sword and Shield could arguably, like, these are Wii U games. So Scarlet and Violet, and Arceus is a spin-off, so it's not part of the mainline series. Scarlet and Violet was supposed to be like, this is what quote unquote next gen Pokemon is, and I guess we're seeing it. when you have the Switch. But once again, as we talked about last week, this isn't even a Switch problem. Like, the Switch certainly isn't helping, but like, there are games, Xenoblade Chronicles, Breath of the Wild, Mario, a bunch of games that run absolutely wonderful on the Switch. This game runs exceptionally bad, like worse than Bayonetta, and I could forgive Bayonetta with everything that's going on in that game. Pokemon really doesn't have any excuse. Like, it's still a very slow-paced thing here. Like, there's not going to be big giant set pieces. If you're the classroom of children who are just waving their feet should not break the frame rate. That should be default. So it's disappointing. I really do hope that they learn from this, but then again,
How
now
can they
I'm
learn from
seriously-
this when they signed off on releasing it?
Well, the only way you learn is if it goes lower than either expectations or whatever more recent Pokemons they have. If it's the
Apparently,
worst selling game,
no, apparently it sold very well.
and which is not surprising because once again, the first quote unquote next gen Pokemon. People have been wanting this for a very long time. So unfortunately, there's a little bit of, in movie terms, it's like sequel bias, right? Like, the second movie might not
guarantee.
always be. Yeah, the second movie is probably not going to be better than the first, but like, I'm already locked in because I saw the first one, so I want to see the second one. So you get a massive influx of people watching it. I think it's going to take a while before I think the outcry of such is going to reach Game Freak, Nintendo, Pokemon Company, just for how these things go. But I hope it does. I'm assuming some patch is coming at some point. Because my God, if they leave it this way, I don't know what else to say. I mean, they truly will have like sort of skyrocketed as to this very comical bad guy of the video game industry.
You know what this reminds me of? Assassin's Creed Unity.
I was going to say, I doubt that this is a non-fixable issue. I think the logic on Nintendo and Game Freak's part is that we're going to release this game prior to Black Friday. We're going to get as many sales as we can, and before the kids open this up for Christmas, we're already going to have this game patched.
And what's so baffling about that is that this wasn't this is something people wanted. This wasn't something people were like strongly expecting. Scarlet and Violet came out of nowhere because we had already had an Arceus this year. So we were like, cool, we've got our Pokemon fixed for the year. We'll probably see the next mainline Pokemon game in 2023. That felt realistic because we just got one in January. And then they surprised us all in spring saying like, hi, guess what? You got one coming this fall as well. And it's like, that's awesome. We get two Pokemon games in 1 year. That's pretty solid. As far as I'm concerned, just move Arceus to either the summer or the winter or fall before the holiday season and let Scarlet and Violet come out next year. I don't think you lose out on anything at this point. Because I think the revenue cost is always going to be the same. Arceus is going to make a good amount of money. Scarlet and Violet are going to make a good amount of money. It's just whenever you ship them is what we have. And we have Bayonetta. We got Xenoblade 3. We had the new Kirby. Like, Nintendo's been eating good for this year.
We had Live Alive or Live Alive, whatever.
Yeah, Live Alive.
So,
like, Nintendo's been eating. So, like, you could have pushed this back just to next year. And then that's a year where we get a brand new Zelda, a brand new Pokemon, hopefully the new Metroid, and maybe a new Mario. So like, to me, if I were building my calendar, I would have adjusted this a bit differently. Like, this feels like, especially in a year where like the other side wasn't really competing that hard. Xbox did nothing. PlayStation did like some things, but like just the sheer amount of stuff that Nintendo was doing throughout the year is ridiculous, right? And so, and you got your third parties like the Elden Rings, but this could have waited. I think it really could have waited if it just needed more time. I agree with you, Pharaoh. It's certainly fixable, And I expect the patch to come out fairly soon. But that's the issue, right? Like, if you're just gonna patch it, and just let it wait. Just
Yeah,
wait.
but they want to get those Black Friday. If once they decide to release it, during this holiday season, they wanted those Black Friday sales. They want the Black Friday. They want the Cyber Monday. They want people who are going out and getting their Christmas shopping in to go get that Pokemon.
And it sucks
ASAP.
because it would have been a wonderful Christmas gift if it ran properly.
But it still will be a wonderful Christmas gift. Because a lot of people aren't gonna. A lot of those game sales are not being opened up until Christmas.
Well,
So a lot of those people won't experience the issues that people who bought the game for themselves to play day one.
that's what I'm hoping.
From the
That's
look
what I'm
of
certainly
it,
hoping.
from the look of it, this game needs at least 1 more year in the oven.
Wouldn't say that. I mean, you'd be surprised what they could do with a quick patch as far as stability updates and
Yeah,
things
but
like that.
less than a year. This is from what I've seen so far. This is have multiple issues. It have glitches, bugs. It have not stability. What we call it? When you have one thing work different than intended, like for example, the fact that you can connect two controllers and run, and you can run at double speed, like all that shit should have been tested, and they didn't. Either they didn't have enough manpower, which if that's the case, I'm screaming like, this is a $3 billion company. Nintendo, where is your money? Is it all there to glorify about it, how much you have, and not make use of it for one of your biggest franchise? Yes, you quote unquote don't own the full franchise, you co-own it, but still, you guys are the only company that are doing Pokemon games. Heck, when you have Temtem and other games do Pokemon better than yourself, you have issues.
I wouldn't say Temtem's better. It might run better, but I'm not gonna say it's better.
It does run better. Innate, as much as it's a tunnel vision, I agree with that. Social media is an echo chamber by itself, but it's still, when you see one person, it's okay. But when you see shit ton of people posting it, that's totally different. This is on a small scale of Cyberpunk. This is not as big as Cyberpunk, because Cyberpunk was massive when it comes to how bad it was running. But this one, I genuinely point out to Unity. This absolutely reminds me of Unity. How Unity was.
Well, I mean, Unity was too technologically advanced for the hardware design. That's the problem.
Is that not what this is?
I don't think that this is indicative of the Switch not having the juice. What this is, because I mean, the game looks like a fucking 3DS game. I don't want to hear it. Like, the Switch can run the shit.
Exactly.
It's literally laziness on Game Freak's part. There's no other way to explain it. Absolutely none. Absolutely none.
People keep buying
you
it.
look at something like Xenoblade 3. That has less performance issues, and that world is way more massive, way more dense, way more shit going on.
And it looks better.
At any one fucking time. And it looks way better. Like I said, it comes down to the devs. Game Freak is fucking lazy. And that's just what unlike Cyberpunk, where they just blatantly just lied, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, yeah, this is the game you're gonna get, and then you didn't get that. Pokemon didn't do that. They're just fucking lazy. And the sad part is, it's still going to sell extremely well, regardless of how we feel about the performance issues, because it's fucking Pokemon. It's still going to sell like gangbusters, and Game Freak's going to look at that as a success. Like, hey, we still sold even half-ass in this. There's no incentive. We're not giving them incentive to, put more effort into the game. And
Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't RTS also come not like this, but close?
I
no,
would say
RC,
Arceus a bit
RCS
further
had,
away.
yeah. I mean, RCS had some performance issues as well, but it wasn't none that like took away from my experience to the point where I'm like sitting there stopping and pointing it out. Like
Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean by like they're just fucking lazy. Because even if it ran at like Arceus standards or on par with Arceus, nobody would be talking shit about it.
Exactly. Because performance is usually not a thing Pokemon worries about. Like people aren't usually criticizing these games for like, oh, the performance is bad. It is because the formula's stale, or they got rid of Mega Evolutions, or I don't like
Exactly,
the
it's
design
something
of
with
the
the
starter.
gameplay.
Yeah, but
This is the
at
first
least the
time.
basic shit is working. But when the basic shit is not working, then people gonna start to complain.
But
But
then
here's the thing:
one,
this is the best gameplay for Pokemon in years, and it
yes,
comes with performance issues. That is the trade-off. We as Pokemon fans are eating in the gameplay space. Like we get an evolution, a necessary evolution for this game, but we have to deal with the repercussions of lazy devs in the optimization department.
and you wonder. Unfortunately, I don't. I hate to use the term unfortunately, but I guess maybe that's the best term for it. Like, it's important to note, and I wish, you know, I've never really know. I don't know much about the Pokemon Company. There aren't really a lot of strong documentaries about like this organization as a whole, and sort of the rise of the juggernaut that is Pokemon as a whole. But it is and always will be and always has been intended for children.
But
And
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to ask. I'll see my nieces and nephews, or over holiday break, and I'll have Pokemon, and like if I hand it to them and just let them play, and they're like 7 and 9 respectively. Uh, so if I let them play and they don't say anything, then
And that's the thing. Kids aren't going to complain about this.
yeah,
yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure there was some whackness even on the Game Boy that I just didn't care about or notice. You know what I'm
of
saying? I'm pretty sure
course
there was
it
jank.
had to be
There's
right,
always been jank. You know what I mean? Like it's a thing, but
and it's not an
you
excuse.
said this is a Pokemon game for kids, or something. What did you say exactly?
no.
So I don't put
This is
Pokemon
words
as
in
a
intended
your
audience
mouth.
for
series,
children.
But yeah, Pokemon as a
Pokemon's
whole,
intended audience is majority children, and that is
I
fact.
children.
didn't.
Listener, know to play Pokemon.
I
I
did.
don't want to hear you say you
Okay,
disagree because do you play Pokemon? It's for kids. It is
I
100% for kids.
why I
These basic ass
agree.
storylines are for children. They're really easy to understand, and
Oh,
the fact that the story doesn't even matter. That's the whole point.
And you
It's for
can't
okay,
kids.
while
you
I
can't even make
agree
an
with
adult
that,
looking
when it comes
character.
while I agree with that, the reality of the matter is it's the grown-ups that buys it. It's the grown-up that created Nuzlocke, whatchamacallit, and all the other
Grown-ups
love.
buy it. Majority of these sales still go to kids.
No, majority are grown-up that are playing Pokemon, not kids.
I mean, it's hard. I lean towards children.
Now
As
it's the
far as I know,
majority.
we don't have any numbers, so I don't actually know,
Yeah,
which is
that's
unfortunate too. I would love to see like actually where their split is, um, but even that's kind of difficult to tell, right? Without like just sort of a blind survey, because it's not like
Yeah.
kids can just go to a store and buy it. So like, if I buy a Pokemon game, I'm buying it for me, but then if I also buy it for my niece and nephew, like, how does that count?
I have a question. The Nintendo Online, do they ask for the person's age when you make an online account?
Yes.
yes.
How
As
many
well
people
as
on never mind, how many people lie about it? It's a good question.
uh more often than
That is
not,
true.
if it's any general indication, even from a parent perspective, the parent just put their age in.
Oh, well.
It's like, here's the thing, because we live in a world where kids, for the most part, can be trusted with tablets, cell phones,
I was thinking
all
that.
things that are already loaded with credit card information and all this other type of stuff. Um, if they're more savvy, Nintendo actually has a very robust
Hmm.
for this buy something, you get a notification to your phone, and it's like, hey, are you authorizing this purchase? And it's like, no. It's like, purchase canceled. Also, I'm now shut my Switch off from the phone because I told you not to buy things.
Yep.
So I don't.
Mm.
It's a half. I don't know. Yes, things like Nuzlocke and stuff are pretty big when it comes to that. But like, Pokemon is a. When I think about it, I think about it as the franchise as a whole. And like,
Yeah, and the franchise
and
as a whole,
what?
from the toys. No adults out here
Yeah,
buying them toys, bro. I'm not. I'm
yeah.
definitely not buying them toys. The
No,
toys,
not the toys.
the merchandising, the clothes, like it's kids, bro. Like
Yeah, when it comes
majority
to
of the
that,
marketing is aimed at children.
Yeah.
okay. So then my
Because trust me, if
question,
they were aiming it at adults, this shit would be on fucking PC, and it wouldn't just be on fucking
Oh
Switch.
my god, Pokemon comes on PC. Oh my
what
god.
about, okay, shouldn't, so, what's the relationship between Nintendo and Game Freak and Pokemon Company? What I mean by that is, look at, for example, PlayStation. When they bought Insomniac Games, what happened? They upgraded them. Shouldn't Nintendo upgrade Game Freak, or they have, quote unquote,
Uh,
I mean,
what we
so,
call it? Yeah,
so,
go ahead.
I do want to chime in once, but I'll let you finish it. But like, so when it comes to Pokemon, like Nintendo kind of just lets them do their thing. It's one of the few instances where it's like they're not like in the room. Because if you look at any other Nintendo game, like as far as optimization, like what you get out of like a first party title, they generally run pretty damn decently, and you don't really like see like a Nintendo made game is usually pretty damn great. They kind of let Game Freak just go in there and just do their thing because the Pokemon formula is not broke because they still make a fuck ton of money. It doesn't matter.
yeah. In addition to that, remember the
It's the same. It's the same as like Zelda. Like they're gonna let Zelda take as long as they fucking want. They don't give a shit. They know once that shit drops, it's going to sell. Like it's gonna fucking review well. Like they
So
don't care. It's like,
why? So why is Nintendo
like,
okay? Why is Nintendo okay then with Zelda looking how it is, which is amazing by the way, versus Pokemon looking the way it look? Shouldn't they want at least consistency between the two?
I'm sure they want that.
they
I don't think
want that,
Nintendo
but
was aware of how bad this
here's the
game
thing.
was.
You also
I agree,
have to
Nappy. I
think,
don't think they were aware of just how bad this was really going to be.
right, but here's the other thing. Like so, I think we're past the point where Switch or like Nintendo thinks Pokemon is going to sell a system because it's not. Like Pokemon is going to sell units. People that already have a system are going to get it. Nobody's going to specifically, like, yeah, I waited all this time to get a Switch just so I can play Pokemon. Like you have plenty of Pokemon games to play. It's not really about that. Versus a Zelda, that's going to get people that don't already have one to go get one.
So you think Nintendo doesn't see Pokemon as a system seller anymore?
Oh,
I
It
mean,
doesn't.
it's a billion
It
dollar
doesn't
franchise.
need to be. It's a huge fucking franchise, and when you have your toes dipped in, like okay, you how many Legend of Zelda toys do you see? You don't see them like that. Like you have toys for adults. You don't really see them for kids. Like they're making money in other places where it's like they don't really care if Pokemon is going to sell a system or not. They absolutely care if Zelda does though.
yeah,
I mean, what?
$118.5 billion.
That's
Yeah,
gross.
yeah.
That's
That's
gross,
how
and that's a
much
lot of
money
money.
this game has made. Oh,
And remember, that's just the game. That isn't the TV show that's been on
Not
since
anything else.
1997.
Exactly. It is just the
That's
game.
not the card game that's existed since 1990. I think 9. That is not the merchandise. That is not the inevitable theme park that has to come about. That's not that stupid big ass jet that they have that's all covered in Pokemon. Like what? Mini Coop just partnered with Pokemon to make the Pikachu Electric Mini. It's an
my
absurd large company.
dang, this is insane. Huh.
And remember, it's the Pokemon Company is the creation of what is it? Nintendo Creatures Inc. and Game Freak. It is this three-way split, and then they fused it to make the Pokemon Company. And the Pokemon Company just exists as its own thing. part of the
Yep.
issue is, and I don't know. I'd be really curious on the design philosophy or development philosophy of Game Freak, because they're the
Yeah.
ones who I think at the end of the day, they're the ones making the game. And so I'm very curious at how they work, how they operate. And again, surprisingly, there's really not a lot about Pokemon as far as like the development process. Like there's not as far as I can tell, and maybe I'll need to look a little bit harder, but it's like there's not really a comprehensive list of interviews, the design philosophies, what they want these games to be, what they want these games to represent. Is there crunch? Is there not crunch? Like, what is it like working at Game Freak? Like, we seem to know very little about it
Yeah.
as a
Yeah,
whole.
you don't really get news like in the development cycle from them.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm like, I've been listening to you guys, and I've just been watching all the glitches videos, and I'm really having a hard grasp on like I can see what you guys are talking about, the hard grasp on like who's to blame, why this game failed, and honestly, this like shocks me because
It's not that the game failed. It's not the game failed. It's
oh,
just
the game
it's
that
not
failed.
revealing.
It's not reviewing very
It's not
well. The game
reviewing
came
well.
out in this state, which for Nintendo is extremely rare. Like I always like I understand like the game like Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity ran like crap, but it ran. When like Bayonetta 3 apparently has some performance issues, but it still run, you can still enjoy the experience. This is new for a Nintendo Switch. Like I cannot think of another Nintendo Switch game that ran like this, and it's kind of there's no way that I can believe that Nintendo knew that this game was in this state when it came out.
They must.
I
No. Do you want to really tell me now that Nintendo doesn't even pay attention to their own quote-unquote product? Come on.
I can see them ignoring Game Freak because Game Freak has never released a game in this state.
No,
Ever.
but no way. Do you know how much of what we call it a problem with this would be then for Nintendo? This could not cut tight, but almost like um, insinuate an entire different change now. If they never knew about how bad, do you think Game Freak would even attempt to release something without Nintendo approval?
Well, are we talking about the people? I mean, because honestly, the people inside Game Freak, we don't know chair switches. I don't know these employees.
Yeah,
I mean,
we don't know anything about them.
I don't know these employees. I don't know who the head director is. I have never even seen them go up on the stage and be like, "Hey, this is the new Pokemon." They just work and make Pokemon. It's like they're like it's like you just know Game Freak and Pokemon. You don't know head chairs. You don't know like communication company manager. I don't know none of that information. I've never even seen them step on stage. So that's just like, what is going on?
Yeah. Now, part of the challenges or worrisome is that what's his name? Satoshi. He's the director for most of the older ones. So Red and Blue, Gold.
Right.
I think he left on Ruby and Sapphire, maybe. But he's been executive producer for everything since then. So part of it is like, well, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, he took a back seat, so it's just like, who's the new face? Like, who's the new like community manager? Like, I don't know. Game Freak don't talk to us. They
don't talk to us. Yeah, they do not talk to us at all, and that's where this like weird divide comes in, right? Because it's like Nintendo talks to us, but Game Freak doesn't talk to us, and like you said, Game Freak just seems to be allowed to do their own things, like sit in their own little silo and do their thing. And Nintendo just comes and be like, "Hey guys, here's Pokemon," and people buy it up. But yeah, we have no sense of, I would never see like how when they got up there and said, "Oh, Metroid 4, we're not ready yet. Give it some time." They would never say that with Pokemon.
Yeah.
And again, they've never said anything about Pokemon. They've never just been like, "Hey guys, it's taking a little bit longer." I mean, and not any like the stuff like what is it, the Pokemon Bank not bringing back old Pokemon, sort of the sprite usage. Like they don't talk about any of it.
Yeah, so I mean, I've been looking at the glitches, and I was trying to maybe the grass assets were a little too much because I see a lot of like pop in and pop out load-ins. Maybe having 4 player like multiplayer co-op, and I'm trying to justify this thing, like maybe an untethered co-op experience where you can literally explore 2 sides of an area. But it doesn't seem to be the case because all the glitches happen when people like were relatively close to each other. So yeah, it just puzzles me. This is honestly like all around a bad optimized game, and I'm just shocked that Game Freak will release this.
I don't believe. Okay, so here's the thing. From the look of it, either Game Freak themselves never tested it, which I don't believe, or Nintendo never saw a side. Because I don't believe Nintendo would ever allow for this to go out like this.
I mean, we also don't know if they didn't mandate like, hey, this game has to be open world. Like, we're not making a concession on that. Like, I don't care how it runs, make it fucking happen. We don't fucking know. All I know is that Game Freak, just based off of any of the past Pokemon games, like they're fucking lazy. We know this.
But how can Nintendo look at what happened? And again, this is not they were not impacted by this, but shouldn't companies quote unquote learn from history?
Oh yeah, yes, they should learn from this, and I'm
What
pretty sure
what
Nintendo probably put in a foot in their ass behind the scenes.
No, I mean before that, what happened with Cyberpunk? Both PlayStation and Xbox, trusted Cyberpunk leadership blindly, because they were CD Projekt Red, so they were given a
You gotta,
pass.
all right, as much as you want to continue to highlight Cyberpunk, like
No, I'm not. What I'm
it
trying.
wasn't, it didn't.
It
It
only
was a
sucked
blip on
if
the
you were
radar.
last gen. It really only sucked if you were
It
last
was no,
gen.
but I'm saying it was a blip on the radar for CD Projekt Red. Like the game is
Was known,
successful.
yeah, it was known for like 13 years. Like they were talking about this ever since like the damn near the 360. So
Yeah,
So
And I
like
like,
the
think
game, the
you know,
game
like
came
No,
out.
no, no, no.
It's still successful. You got a successful show tie-in. Like,
What I am trying to. But
all I'm saying is like all I'm saying is, you know, we could talk about Cyberpunk all we want, but it's really not that much of a learning experience for the industry to like, oh, we're not going to release our game unless it's perfect.
no,
I mean,
shouldn't it be just a learning experience to double check, triple check,
I
even
mean,
if
since when's the
even
last time Nintendo had to double or triple check anything? When they announce a game, it comes out. At most, it will
I
run at a low
mean,
but
frame
most
rate,
of
but
the
it's never
time
been broken like
they
this.
develop the game themselves, their own studios, not they don't outsource it because they don't own Game Freak.
No, they
well,
don't. But
well,
So
here's the
then,
thing.
then again, that's what I'm trying to say.
If
No, no,
if it doesn't
innate.
negatively if it doesn't negatively impact a company's bottom line, then there's nothing to learn.
I
They
will.
made their money.
They did make their money, but I'm pretty sure Nintendo's like putting a foot in Game Freak's ass right now. But like, why did you release this on my console? Who the
Yeah,
fuck
this
are you?
is
You were my best friend.
I'm
You were my
sure
brother. You were the chosen one, and you fucked me over.
I'm
Fix this.
sure that those type of conversations are happening, but at the
But it's
same
not.
time, it's not like this can never happen again type thing. It's just like this is a blip on the radar. Probably, if anything, Nintendo's like, what can we do to help you get this game back on track so that you know when the holidays open, everyone really starts playing this. It's as optimized as can be.
Yeah.
yeah,
So
I think the idea is like, of course, everyone should learn about this because let's be honest, Cyberpunk isn't the first time a buggy glitched game has ever been released. So theoretically, Cyberpunk should have learned from whoever came before that.
the majority of the end of the last generation and a lot of this generation so far. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a
Anthem.
trend.
yeah, there's always something to be said, but like it is never going to be a perfect system. I argue that it is a pretty good system currently. You know, even if we just use Nintendo as the sole example, like majority of their games come out perfectly fine or fine enough. That this one didn't. It should be the goal, but like if the entire industry is running at say 85%, I'm sure they're happy with those numbers. You can never get it to 100%. Inevitably, somebody's going to come out and release a buggy mess. You hope it's not one of the big deal franchises, but sometimes it is. And and once again, unfortunately, everything I hear about this game is that it's fun as hell when it runs properly. It is one of the more fun Pokemon games of the last like couple of years. It just runs like ass, which is absolutely horrible. And really, they've got to fix this. Like, it's just not proper.
I wonder,
in 30 days it'll be running good.
I don't know, because it's like, did they switch like game engines or something? Like, I'm still trying to like, I'm still watching like the glitches. I'm trying to figure out.
I assume they're using the same engine they use for Arceus.
Once again, Nappy, I have no clue because they tell us absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, like, I mean, hey, like nowadays, like companies are now very careful when it comes to releasing games. I mean, heck, look, Gotham Knights was a little bit of buggy mess, but they fixed that within like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and now it's perfectly fine. Well, not perfectly fine, but it's so much better to the point where, yeah, I'm pretty sure they could fix it. I'm just like, my question is, I'm just trying to figure out like maybe, I don't know. I just don't know.
This is what I hope, that like the questions that you're answering, people start to ask them and people start to look, not just the company itself, but like those that strong dedicated fan base of adults who are like, so what the hell is actually going on now? Like, because we've sort of sat silently by for a long time and just let the games be as they are, but this is outside of the norm.
That's what I'm saying. This is like, for Pokemon to come out in a buggy mess like this is definitely outside the norm. I'm just really trying to figure out, like, is there more going on behind the code than we think that the Nintendo Switch is struggling to handle or something? I don't know.
I don't know. We won't have an answer to that question until Tears of the Kingdom comes out. That is going to tell us. That is going to tell us if the Switch is done. That is absolutely going to tell us that.
I mean, honestly, I think the Switch is done. I think ever since
it's all coming down to optimization. That's all it is. Like in 45 days, this game is going to be running good. I'm not saying it's going to be running like a dream. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but a lot of issues that people are complaining about, and it's going to be running pretty good.
45 days. Yeah, that joint fixed by the time I get it this weekend.
You're chipmunking again, Omar.
That's what those squeaks were.
Why is there a Pokemon that looks like a chandelier? What is going on with Pokemon now?
Because they don't chandelier anymore. The
Ghost Fire Pokemon.
Man, the only Pokemon they got right was like the first 150. After that, it's like hit and miss.
Actually, I would say Advanced Battle / like Ruby and Sapphire. That was like, I think, where I started to stop.
It was decent, but you still had.
That's a common misconception. There are an incredible amount of good design. I would argue that almost all the starters on every generation is awesome.
Yeah, I always pick Fire.
Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear me, by the way?
Awesome. I'd have to disagree that all of them are awesome.
I'm not saying all, but like I think a lot of people like rely on the initial 150 and ignore how much ignore all the stupid ones that came in the original, and ignore how many some of the good ones are. Like Greninja, top tier design.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Just making sure. There are
Mimikyu, top tier design. Ampharos, top tier design. Like those are some awesome Pokemon.
Did you see the evolve
like FP, which is trash?
Did you see
Buzzwole, who's trash?
Did you see the evolved form of that chest Pokemon?
There's a chest Pokemon?
Yeah, there is a chest Pokemon. With chest. With a chest, I literally mean like a loot chest.
Look, I stopped at, like I said, I already told you where I stopped at, so.
But
it's a mimic.
Yeah, a mimic. Basically a mimic. Yeah, basically a mimic. which is adorable until it evolves. Then it's hideous.
Yeah.
Garchomp is awesome.
But so you guys, I think Zero was, I forgot who said that when Tears of the Kingdom comes out, do you think then are they done with the Switch, or do you think they
I
were?
hope. I really hope so.
Why would they be done with the Switch? What reason have the consumer base given for them to be done with the Switch?
Because people are complaining about the performances and stuff, and also, please, I really wish Valve would just suck it up and just put their damn Switch. I mean, not Switch, Steam Decks on fucking store shelves because they want to be greedy and don't want to split that revenue with the stores. I'm like, just do it. It's okay. Let more people get that Switch. 'Cause as soon as they do,
but they're also controlling the flow of consoles because they also do all the repairs and the RMA for it, so you don't have to. It's a logistical nightmare, I think, for them to be like, yeah, got shit from Walmart and Target and all that shit. It's like, fuck it, it's just us. Yes, that cuts down on their saturation rate. Like, it's limited by people that know about it, Steam. But I mean, I see what they're doing there.
Yeah, so I mean, I just hopefully I think Nintendo does need some competition at the end of the day because yeah, they all Nintendo's always have been known for squeezing every last memory bit inside of a chip to make a game run. Like they're like I wouldn't call them frugal spenders. They're more like those can't think of another word for it. The people who are too scared to like spend money.
It's like they hoard money.
And here's how they fix it though. Here's how they fix it. They don't even need to release a new Switch. They release a dock with a dedicated GPU in it that can do some of the heavy lifting. Now, granted, that takes away some of the appeal because you're going to be more in. I guess you're going to want to use it more in docked mode, but that's something they can get away with without having to sell a whole new ass system. It's kind of like the expansion pack for the N64 back in the day.
Yeah, I mean, it's right up your alley.
I mean, exactly. Yeah, it's something they've done before. But I would take that knowing that, hey, if it's docked, I'm getting full performance. And then I can now understand, okay, if I'm not docked, this is why this game is running like this. I'm making the trade-off because I want it mobily. This is what it is. And they could get away with that.
I will have to ask about that USB-C port on the bottom of the Switch and see how fast that is. If it can handle that. If it can handle that, that would be perfect.
Yeah. It's a win-win. It's like, okay, you can sell an improved Switch dock for what, $150, $200?
I'll say $100.
Sell it for the price of the Switch. What is it? The Switch Lite.
I'm about to say I'll sell for 150 at most 100 because yeah.
Oh no, hold on. How much is the Switch Lite?
Switch Lite is like $200, or the Nintendo Switch is like $300, and the Switch OLED is $350.
Yeah.
So yeah, $150. If I know Nintendo well enough, they were like, we're gonna give
you $150 or even just flat out $200. Like
almost the price of a new Switch, but like technically it's not, since like you can't actually like play it itself. It's like when Nintendo is just a peripheral. We hear you, but we're gonna need that $150 anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, if that USB-C port can actually handle transferring that files and stuff, and of course the dock will handle the rest, then yeah, I can see that being a good thing.
Because you also have to understand, like, the Steam Deck is not cheap. It's cheap for what it is, performance wise. The Steam Deck starts at $400. I don't think Nintendo wants to touch that price. I don't think Nintendo wants to be $399.99 for any fucking reason. And we know if they did do like a refresh of the Switch to make it, closer to next gen specs, it's gonna end up being that. They can't sell that for $300 or $350. It won't happen.
I mean, Nvidia got some newer Tegra tricks. I mean, the problem is that our mobile phones for like the Galaxy S22 and has like the Snapdragon 8.1 and 8.2, and that is damn near like side by side. Like the specs of the Tegra 1 chip and our phones now are like, our phones can damn near run Nintendo Switch games if it was programmed properly. So yeah, I think it's time for with that information, it's time for and plus the Tegra chip was like it's an old ass chip. I think it's okay, Nintendo. You can upgrade to at least, like get some like GPU power from like maybe 2016, 2017. That was a good year. Come on now.
I
You
was
guys
hearing, I was hearing that they wanted to upgrade, but because of the price of and because of COVID, they couldn't.
well, yeah, plus chips are like really hard to come by, so it's
Yeah,
really
so
gonna be
maybe all these games were supposed to be on the Switch Pro or whatsoever, and PlayStation, Nintendo is taking a hit because they can't. Because look at the Switch, it's still selling like hotcake. But if they can't produce enough Switch Pros, they might as well not cancel, postpone the Switch Pro maybe after Breath of the Wild, or maybe Breath of the Wild will be the launch game with a new Switch Pro. Who never knows?
yeah.
Yeah. And some of that,
We don't
you
need
know,
to
I
let
usually,
that hope go.
I don't think it's gonna be with Breath of the Wild, but my personal opinion is it will probably begin to show up a little bit after Mario Kart 8 has finished its like deluxe passes. I think
Is
they
it
have
ever going to finish?
I think they have like 2 more to go. Because like to your point, Omar, like I don't think they had ever initially planned to do what they were doing with Mario Kart 8 with like the release of these season tracks because like 8 has gotten more DLC stuff than I think Animal Crossing, which is shocking because Animal Crossing is like an easy DLC machine. Uh, and it came after Smash. It just all of a sudden one day they were like, why don't we just sell them back the old tracks? Like, cool, let's do that instead of making the new Mario Kart because chances are the new Mario anything is going to be on the next Switch system. I don't think we're going to get another mainline Mario game, and I include Mario Kart as part of at least the side story to the mainline games. We probably won't be getting another one. In fact, I don't think we ever do, right? Like every new generation of Nintendo system comes with its own Mario.
That is true.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
very true.
famously, Kirby tends to show up right around the end life cycle of a Nintendo system. And we just got a new Kirby, so if this 2024, I think is probably when we would see a new Switch. But I think maybe there's time for it. Maybe the chip shortage did push plans back. Nintendo's never forthcoming about any of these things, so we'll never know. But if that's the case, then maybe we got some things coming because we've got to. It's been some time since some of their other big dogs haven't shown up like Mario.
Yeah, I would assume that the idea of a Switch Pro is dead. I think the whatever they released with the Ethernet port, whatever they called that, that is your quote unquote Switch Pro. I think any
Bro, we getting that Dock Deluxe. That's what we get.
That dog still.
I think anything that comes from Nintendo that is new hardware will be quote unquote next generation hardware. I don't think it'll be uh mid gen refresh. So
Yeah,
I
I
think you already
guarantee
got
you.
your mid gen. Yeah, you already got your mid gen refresh. So I don't see that happening again. Um, I would think whatever they come out next will be a new piece of hardware. But,
Yeah,
that
we
pretty
need
much.
the Super Nintendo Switch, dog. Like the name
The
is right there.
Super Nintendo Switch.
The name is right there.
What was that? SNES Switch or
It's the
SNES
Look,
S?
Or you can just call it the SNS.
SNS.
we
The
There you
SNS.
go.
we blazed through these topics with a quickness until Zero got to passionately talk about his Nintendo and his Pokemon.
I could talk about
I
catching
mean,
tiny
to
monsters
be
for hours.
fair, this was going to be the biggest topic, and we don't have any other topics, so
No, we don't. But there was a topic that came across really quick that probably only me and Jube care about, and that is EA Sports is supposed to be announcing the delay of NCAA football. It will not be dropping this summer.
That's
Okay.
whack. So we're not gonna get it till Madden 25.
2024. 2024.
So Madden 25. Yeah, that garbage.
Yes.
Hot about that.
Yes.
Are they playing players? Are they paying players?
Yes, players are getting paid now. Well, the
Nice.
schools
they
aren't
are?
paying the players. The players are eligible to go find other revenue streams.
Okay, that's fair. Well, it's not great, but it's
I mean, it's
better
not
than where
great.
we
It's
were.
something.
Yeah, it's better than where we were, I guess.
EA,
So,
the challenges
um,
in money back.
so I'm gonna start closing this show out, and I'm gonna start closing out with Zero. Tell us where they can find you and where can they find us.
Well, guys, as always, it's been an absolute blast to just chat. You can find me, of course, at 0386 or 0.exe, pretty much everywhere. Finishing up God of War, and then we'll be glitching my way through Pokemon later this week. But of course, you can always find us, Vitamin G Podcast, anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. Um, Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music. We're all across all of them. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Um, please just reach out for us. As always, I'd love to say it. You literally could be doing anything else, but you decided to listen to us, and we will always appreciate you for that. So thank you very much. And please make sure they're about to give their own sort of outros. Make sure to support all of the gentlemen on the podcast. These are great guys to talk to.
All right, Nappy, tell people where they can find you and tell us about your next review that's going to be coming up pretty soon.
Okay, so if you guys don't know, you guys can find me on YouTube. All you gotta do is type in Nappy Senshi, and I'll first one to pop up. You will see the recent controller review I did with the company from Triumph, Bangtong, and their flagship controller, the Beatong Zeus controller. It is for the Nintendo Switch and for PC. So definitely come to my channel and check that review out. And plus, I got plenty of other controller reviews. I'm working on one review where I'm revisiting the Power A Fusion Pro 2 controller because it's right now it's on sale for like $50, so I decided to pick it up. And there's also another controller I'm working on a review on that has an LED screen on it, so I'm actually excited about that. That just literally just came in the mail 20 minutes before I got on this Discord to participate in the Vitamin G podcast, so look out for that.
All right. Omar, where can they find you?
People can find me at Garab_Shihab on Twitter and Anime Squad every Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and Game Slayer, shout out to the crew, N8 and Viper at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Hit that like button and yeah, shout out to the Vitamin G crew.
All right. And least but not last, where can they find you, Jube?
Damn. Yeah, you can
Hurtful.
find me at Jubei X Sensei on gaming platforms. Jubei Sensei everywhere else. Jubei Jones on music platforms. I just noticed they just dropped a new character in Demon Slayer Hinakami Chronicles, so I'm probably gonna pick that up again this week also.
And Jube, you dropped the EP, right?
I did drop an EP a little bit ago with the homie Thelonious E and David Sold Out for sure.
People find
So,
that.
you can find that on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere you can listen to music. It's on SoundCloud too. Some verses, the Versus EP. Go check it out. For show.
All right. It's your boy Pharaoh. You can find me on Twitter at Pharaoh Bazaar and anywhere you like to watch streamers at the Land of Pharaoh. This is Vitamin G. Keep it gaming. We're out.
Later. Give me a second to end the stream.